Hello, welcome to the next episode of MeatballCraft. Last episode, I said we'd get into bees, and that's what we'll do, because our peat production, if we check here, our peat production, we don't have any. We have foggy queens that can produce said peat, but they're trash, so we need better bees. One of the stats that we need, not necessarily for, what do you call it, breeding, but the production side, we're going to want the longest species, the longest lifespan here. And you get that from Doctoral, Blizzy, Rockin', Phantasmal, Draconic, Grounded. Let's see, Avenging, Pyro, Forlorn, Shocking, Amped, Relic, Endearing, and Gelid. I'm not really sure which is easiest to get though. So I've narrowed down to some bees based on the rest of the traits they seem to have. And you can look at the traits, like I said, if you like the endearing, if you just search endearing, it'll kind of show you the genetic template of what it has. So it has the never sleeps, fastest speed, longest lifespan, tolerates rain, 3 fertility. There is a 4 fertility, but we might not need it. And then territory, cave dwelling, true, temperature tolerance, both. So if we look at fertility, and like 4, for example, we can kind of see which ones of these has 4 fertility, or not even. Some of these do, some of these don't. It looks like the jaded bee has fertility 4, but I don't know what else. And why don't you know it, the Myri bee from the last episode has a fertility of 4, so we'll grab that. But however, to get the Myri, we don't have another, well, I guess we do have that actually. We need a Marshy and, actually, never mind that. So we just need to go get another Marshy bee, because we don't have any of that. And then we have a lot of noble bees, so that's fine. And we have found another Marshy hive. Also, you also always want to make sure you have pristine stock and not ignoble. Let's see. Upgrade. I know we have humidifier upgrades. I feel like I had more than that, but too dry. Will one do the trick? Probably not. So we need more humidifier upgrades. So humidifier, depending on the bee, you might need to do this more or less. Depends on, again, the bee. So in this case, 2 does a trick for the Marshy. So we'll let the Marshy do its thing. I don't think we have tropical, foggy. Yeah, we don't have any Marshy bees here. Also, things can be kind of slow, so you can time in a bottle this, or whatever, Torturino, or whatever it is you have. So as this makes more drones, we'll take some of these drones out and throw them into our, I don't know why that's in there. Throw that into here. I got a fertility 2, don't care. We're trying to get the fertility 4, which should drop out of these drones if that was correct. False, average. And one way you can also check this is to put them in your beealyzer. Just multiple ways to check this. Oh, only a 2 fertility. No, we don't want the Marshy. We want the, I'm dumb. We don't want the Marshy. We wanted the Myri. That's right. But we still need the drones anyway, because we need to get the, that's actually not bad, a temperature tolerance. We're trying to get the, what do you call it? The gene trait for Marshy just in general. Just as a side note, the traits you're trying to, the samples you're trying to pull out, they have a certain chance of coming out based on the bee. They might be more than 7.7, less, depends on the bee. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But if we just search up bee samples, there's really no way to check all different kinds. You have to search for specific ones, but they do have a certain chance, so you're not guaranteed to get whatever trait it is, even if you throw 100 in there. And that's kind of why we're going for the fertility trait, is because we want more drones to get, have more to deal with. We're going to deal with the game of chance. But there we go. We did get the bee species for Marshy, so we'll keep that, and then we no longer really need all of this. I'll take not the lighting upgrade, the automation upgrade out, so we get our princess out, and then we'll just take the drones out, because they no longer really matter to us. I will throw them, the Marshy into here. We'll keep the Marshy Princess to get the Myri because we need the Noble and the Marshy together. So we'll grab a Noble drone out of here, throw it into our advanced Mutatron. So the Marshy Princess and the Noble, we'll pick Myri. That's our only option. But sometimes you have a chance of getting it, and sometimes you don't. With the advanced Mutatron, we are guaranteed to get it. So now we have a Myri Queen, which is what we want. We'll go ahead and throw it in here. It needs flowers, which I believe the flowers needed for this specific one is like a 3 tall cactus. And the reason I know that is because I was messing with it earlier. So we'll do that. We'll get some cactus. 1, 2, 3. We'll throw it down like that. Where's the bee? Did I leave it in here? Yeah, so the Myri Queen. You can also throw her in, again, the bee analyzer to see. So we threw her in here, and you kind of see that it needs mushrooms as a flower type, but it never really recognized the mushrooms I had put down. It only recognized the 3 tall one. So we need to pull our queen back out. Do this. No flowers, no power. Okay. We'll grab a flux points. Okay. And the reason I'm doing this out here and not under the main thing is because I don't care about this stuff. We're using it specifically for breeding purposes. So too dry. So we're gonna need our humidifier upgrade again. And now we have no flowers again. So it's really weird in what it is looking for, honestly. And sometimes you have to time it and bottle it, and then it'll recognize that, oh, I do have a flower or something. I'm not really sure why, but just keep in mind these things also suck up a lot of power. So you need some kind of good power source. Because even timed in the bottle, this thing's not. It only is capable of accepting 1,000, so never mind. Also worth noting, once all these, like, increase the power consumption. So energy consumption plus 5% on each one. So there's 20%. There's 30 and there's 40. So always keep at least 1 drone in there. And then we'll take our Myri drones and basically repeat the process here of just throwing them in. We're going to need some genetic stuff. So they are EMCable in this pack. If you're watching this and you're playing some other pack, find some way to get a lot of them if they're not EMCable. But this is just for MeatballCraft, so I can't really help you out if it's not MeatballCraft in this regard, at least. And there we go. We got one of the samples we've been looking for. We need fertility 4. We for sure want that. And then we'll wait till we get the Myri species as well. And also, I don't know if I show this or not. This is my breeder card here, so I want things to be bred with this stuff. So we're gonna put the fertility 4 into here, so we get more drones of everything. And we also want the shortest lifespan as well. The rest of this doesn't really matter, but this breeder's pretty much more or less ready to go, just for the purposes that we need. You can get really specific with it and get I'm not sure if we have it, but the tolerance, you can get all that as well. But since this is specifically for breeding and not producing things, I don't really care. And there's our Myri, so we'll take these out. I will pull this out because I want this. We have another fertility 4 and we got 2 species for Myri. We'll keep them both. I might as well, I guess. I don't really know. I've been using this draconic chest as just kind of a storage for things. So I'm putting all the species over here. I will double up on that. And then we got another fertility 4. So I guess we'll put it on this one. This is going to be our... No, we'll save it. We'll save it, I think. Yeah, because none of this is really good. So I'm probably just going to scrap this one, I guess. And we'll start with a fresh one. So we'll take our genetic template and we will put in the fertility 4 because we might as well. It doesn't really matter. The never sleeps true as well. That's also a good one to have. I don't know where I put it. Fertility 4 and then never sleeps. This is our breeder, and then this one's gonna be our production. So we'll do this and I'll just name it production. So we can differentiate. Also worth noting, if you have spare of these, whatever sample you want, I think you can throw them into a squeezer to get some liquid DNA back. but I don't care. So it's not really much, and we have better ways of getting DNA, so I'm not going to use it. Okay, I think I've decided on a B to go for. We're gonna go for the gelid here, and just because it looks, I could be completely wrong, but it looks kind of easier to breed, to get to compared to the other ones. They're much more complicated than this, and these do go further down than this. So we need a modest, which I'm not really sure if we have or not. But I'll probably collect the bees we need for this that we can like get off the bat. So like wintry is a basic one we can just get, and modest is as well because you can see it doesn't have any like children below it. So modest is something you can just collect. So I'd be surprised if we don't have a modest in here or a wintry, to be honest. Maybe we don't. Oh, wait. Wintry. There we go. It's a princess, so we're going to need some drones for it as well. So we did have some wintry drones just laying around. We did need to put cooler upgrades into here for that to work. We'll go ahead and speed it up, though, and we'll get some more drones. Oh, and then, like I said, leave at least one in there. We'll do this and try to get the species, the wintry species out of it so we don't need to, come back for it. I guess I didn't realize wintry also has the fertility of 4, so we'll just keep it around just in case we need it for something. And then you can go ahead and combine like all the species you have, whatever species you have, like, and do like a genetic template, so 1 species per template here. That way you'll never have to like go back out in the wild and like find the basic ones, or if you need to like start somewhere else in the chain, you have whatever bee it is you need. Because you're probably going to use the princess or whatever you have to breed up from there, but now you can like, just respawn them at whatever point in the chain you need to. So now we have our wintry like template, and we also have the drones necessary for this. So now we need to go back a little bit further down in our tree here and look for modest. I'm not sure if we have any modest laying around. Also, one helpful thing in this pack at least is if you don't know like the base bees. So for example, the modest hive, you can search for modest and then click on the hive, and then it'll kind of show you found in deserts. Again, I'm a MeatballCraft, so I'm not sure if that applies to all the other mod packs. I'm not really sure. And here we are in a desert, so I can go ahead, kill you, take this, and let's make sure it's ignoble. Oh, you don't want ignoble, you want pristine, so it's kind of up in the air whether you get one or the other. And after breaking a couple of them, I finally got pristine. The difference is the ignoble species will die out and just like disappear pretty much after a certain amount of generations. No, not a certain amount. It's kind of like a random amount. Whereas pristine never dies. They'll be there forever. And for the modest queen, I had to install 2 dryer upgrades and 2 heater upgrades. Go ahead and speed this up. Get them rolling, and seems to be good so far. And we'll get the drones, and again we will do the same thing we've been doing. Grab them and get their species type. I did end up getting their species type, so now we have modest saved, and we can pretty much just take this out. We no longer need you. And actually, I lied, because we need the drones for breeding up the other species. So now that we have the bases that I can see here, we have the wintry, we have the modest. Now we need to go down all 3 of these other paths here. We need to get diligent, unweary, and eldritch. So let's just bookmark all of these. And to get eldritch, it would look like we're going to need a mystical drone, which seems to spawn on its own. We have forest drones, which we have. Ooh, because there's a cultivated and a mystical. I'm pretty sure we have cultivated just laying around somewhere. Possibly in here. Hopefully. We'll try cultivated drones. So we're going to need the diligent? Oh, so the diligent comes from a common and a cultivated drone, so we have that. Easy enough. So with our common princess and our cultivated drone in here, we have a lot of options. You got a student queen, a noble queen. Don't need these. We want the diligent queen. So go ahead and pick that and let it do its thing. From there, we'll take the diligent queen, put her in here, and she'll be good to go. Speed it up. Actually, I put the cultivated in there. We want the diligent. That's what we want. All right, so I got the diligent DNA. Now we have our princess. Just kind of chilling here. And because in order to craft breed for a industrious, we need the diligent queen and an unweary drone. So let's see, to get unweary. Oh, we need another diligent queen, do we? Another diligent queen. Okay. Well, we have the diligent. Where are you? Diligent is here. We have one diligent princess, so we're gonna need to grab another. So we have two of these for some reason. Two tropical queens. We'll use one of these, and if this works the way I think it works, which it may or may not, we'll get the diligent species here. So tropical queen in, and it should. Nope, it does not work the way I thought it did. Alright, I think I did it wrong, so I think we needed the genetic imprinter. I tried doing it on the genetic transposer. So we do the imprinter. You're a queen, which is might be why you're not working. Alright, let's try this. I got the queen or the princess. I just made the queen go princess, and then boom, this should just work. Hopefully. Goes, and now we have another diligent princess. This is why you always keep the genetic stuff together so you don't have to like go and breed up another one completely. And there we go. In order to get the unweary, we just need those two. We will now get our unweary queen. Nice. I finally got the unweary species. I put at least like 70 in here before I got that thing. Another fertility 4, and then we should be good. But now that I have the species, I can go ahead and get an industrious queen. We'll go ahead and speed this up so we get our industrious princess. Take that, and then we'll go to our imprinter. Take our breeder that we need. Put the princess in. I've been using so much time in the bottle recently. So now she should produce more drones whenever she's in here. Put one drone in. We got industrious pretty quickly, so that's nice compared to the last one. Alright, so it's next day. I went down the second half of the tree to get the gelid queen, so we got that now. I didn't really think it was worth recording just because you get the gist by this point. And now we have a production thing here that I've named production, but the genome thing is it never sleeps, has slowest flowering, the fastest speed, humidity tolerance both 2. There is a both 3, but I'm not really that pressed about it. We're in a nice area, it doesn't really matter. Lifespan, longest, tolerates rain, true. Fertility 4, also not really a big deal for production. We'll just pretty much be trashing the extra drones anyway. It is what it is, really. And then temperature tolerance, both 2. I think there's a both 3 for that as well. But it doesn't really matter. So now we're going to take our Flux Princess and our Boggy Princess. The Boggy is what's producing the peat at a astronomically slow rate. I haven't touched the peat, by the way, since we crafted the thing last episode. There's been plenty of AFK time and everything later, and we are at 6 peat. It's disgusting. So we'll take this. We will imprint these stats onto it. We'll speed it up a little bit here. And now we have this. Same for our Flux Princess. We'll save the gelid. We'll put it in here because we don't really need it. And then if we take out our analyzer here, put it in, you can see it's got the longest lifespan, fastest production, slowest pollination. Again, doesn't matter. I don't really want it to pollinate, so it's really whatever. The flower type is mushroom. Oh, we can change that. We can change the flower type as well, actually. I forgot. Fertility 4, again, doesn't matter. Territory larger. I haven't changed that or anything else. So what I will do, actually, is we have... where is it? We have a sample for... Or we should. Cave dwelling, doesn't really matter. Flowers, rocks. If we put the flowers, rocks onto here, it will make it so that they only need the like stone to pollinate. And since there's stone underneath all of this, that'll be really nice. So we'll do that. And then we should get a flowers, rocks. And then I'll just do it again because it's really not that big of a deal. Time to bottle it once more. There we go. And if we put it back in, flower type rocks, it is nice. So, back out. And now we can put this Boggy Princess in. And this Flux Queen. And now we should just get more stuff more quickly. We're also going to get a lot of drones as well. We'll have to start trashing these. So I have these set to an advanced item filter into a trash can, and we'll ignore the metadata and NBT, so that way all of them just should get sucked out of here. And then automation needs to go back in here. Automation's already back in there. Then yeah, any extra drones will now be trashed. Alright, so unfortunately, this is still pretty slow. We only have 17 now, and I've made 3 of these bees. So I think next step in our process, aside from just upgrading them, is to get some alvearies going. And get alveary blocks, the impregnated casing, which I don't think we have. Well, do we? Let's see, if we do the impregnated, probably not, to be honest. That's a 1-to-1. A plated carpenter, can we make this? The answer is appetites, bronze, honeycomb. Do we have just normal honeycombs in here somewhere? Question mark. What is this? A dripping comb? What was that? The answer is yes, we do. So we're gonna go ahead and create that multi-block, the plated carpenter here, and get using it. Okay, here's our plated carpenter multi-block. Pretty easy to make. We just need some honey, and now we can go ahead and make ourselves a scented paneling, which just takes honey, royal jelly, which we don't have, pollen cluster, beeswax, and then just planks, just in general. So easiest way to get honey is just squeezing down honey drops, I guess. So we should be getting, quite a few of these. And then these go into a plated or a squeezer, I think. Yeah, so 1 drop equals honey. Okay. One thing I did notice is that if you put it in a squeezer from forestry, the honey drop, you get 100 millibuckets. But if you put it in a mechanical squeezer from integrated dynamics, you get 180. So definitely go that route. Alright, so I went ahead and made an Imperial Queen. To make the Imperial, you need a Noble and a Majestic. We already had a Noble, and then to get the Majestic, it's just a Noble and Cultivated, which we also already had. Didn't feel like showing that because we need the Royal Jelly that we get from this. We're gonna get a whole bunch of drones, too, that we don't need. So we'll go ahead and do is just... I think we already have... Did I grab an Imperial gene? I did not. So we'll go ahead and just start trying to grab the Imperial gene out of this and then start tossing the rest of the drones. I will say this is the second time in a row where I've gotten the species on the first try. I love it. With the Royal Jelly, though, we can get production upgrades, and we can also get the database. Here's our database. I have no idea how it works at all, to be honest with you. So if I just shove bees from Apier's chest in here, there's like a sorceress, and then we type in. All right, let's do more than that. Do that, and then let's type in Blizzard. Okay, so it'll just show you the bees you have, which is nice. I also guess I forgot to put upgrades into this stuff. So we've only been operating at like 1/3 as fast as we could. We are getting a little more peat out of that one, so hopefully let's see how well this works before we go all the way to the alveary. Maybe someone will leave it in the comments, but I don't think we'll go down the alveary route just because alvearies might be better. Like, I mean, slightly better than a maxed out production. Like this one, for example, it's got a maxed out production and everything. It might slightly outperform this for combs, but as I understand it, like the off products, like the products we actually want, like the peat and the royal honey or the royal jelly, aren't any better in an alveary, so we might just stick with this. But now we have enough peat, hopefully, that we can make the solid state. So we have one of these. We only need 15 more, I think. Let's get one of these. It takes 40 peat to craft one of these. Just think about it. Oh, so I need to make the diamond singularities, actually. They're singular condensates. I'm calling them singularities. Energy crystals and stellar alloy. So the energy crystal, I thought we could make energy crystals. Oh, it's just a better energy crystal. So we need the basic one. So to make the normal energy crystal. Energy crystal. Not the better one, just the normal one. Either do a diamond or ruby. How much ruby do we have? The answer is a lot. And I would rather just, we might as well use them. You have to smelt it down. That's fine. I'll teach this how to make that, and then we'll get the better, or just the normal crystal. The next thing we needed was a stellar alloy, which is just another star, melodic, and clay, which is easy. Oh. Ooh. This way we don't need the clay. Yeah, we'll do it this way. So I'm gonna automate. I'll teach the system how to make the singularity starting now. So what I'm gonna do is pretty much shove them into these things here. So we'll do it so we don't push items if there's inventory has items. And what I'll do is we'll put another chest here. It's gonna have to be some kind of like a dank storage almost, I think, because it requires 5,000 items. I'm not really sure how many. Let's see how many stacks it is. Actually, an obsidian chest should be good enough, actually. So if we just do the obsidian chest here, and then we have our ludicrous item inputs, like that, we can go ahead and probably just grab... I'm trying to think of the best way to do this, honestly. I think the best way to do this is with integrated dynamics because of how many items we're going to have to use, like, or import. It's going to be like 5,000 at least. So if I go ahead and request diamond singularity, we request it. So 5,000 should get put into here, should get put into these inventories. There we go. So we're filling up our thing with diamonds. It'll take a little bit just because, like, again, like I said, this is a lot of diamonds to be moving around. So hopefully after this is done, we will have our singularity. And there it is. We have our diamond denser thing, diamond singularity. So we should be pretty much empty on diamonds everywhere else. Yep. So there we go. All well and good. Now I just need to import from this system, honestly. Or from this output, I mean. And here we go. I just extended our little building here. I forgot this corner. I'll fill it in later. But now we are importing into the system. And now if we ask to create the solid states thing again, we should be able to just do it. And it will craft the other singularity for us. Craft one. And we should be good. This will definitely take quite a while, though. Alright, it just finished crafting, and I was up here just trying to figure out why it was taking so long. It seems like some of these machines will just randomly get clogged up on their own crafts, and like items will get put in places that they shouldn't be able to get to. So for example, like I'll put the empty fluid cell for the beryllium. It'll go in here, and then it'll get filled up, and then the filled cell will just stay in this slot. It's weird. We also got weird things in the rolling machine where the craft, where the ring, whichever it is here, the nichrome heating coil, will go from here, and it'll for some reason go over here into one of these slots and then stop the craft again. So it's things I have to kind of monitor for now. But if we look at the heating coil or whatever, there are other ways we can make it later down the line. So we kind of want to get off of relying on these machines as soon as possible. Not only for speed and stuff, but also just because they seem to not always work. And it's probably just a 112 thing, to be honest. But here is our solid state fusion coil. We got that. And then we're going to need... if we open up the quest book real quick. Go back to where we are. Oh, so we have 4 solid states. But we need a total of 16 in total. So... it seems we have 5, so we need 16, so we need 11 more. So if we get this and we ask for 11 more. Oh, we're all missing peat. It's still so slow. But I don't think we'll need much more peat after this, hopefully. You know, cross my fingers. And it seems to be just peat seems to be the B you probably shouldn't go for, to be honest. Because like royal jelly, which is more useful than peat, we get a lot more of that off of 1B than 3 boggy. So yeah, just something I noticed. It took 7 years to craft, but we got the rest of our solid state fusion coils, and I really don't know where to put this, to be honest. I'm thinking we'll put it up here because sooner rather than later I like to get out of these single machines into multi-blocks, but probably have to keep them here, so I need to think of somewhere to put this. For now, it will live there. It kind of fits. So it is what it is. Since this can take a whole lot of power. We're gonna give it its own flux point. Not bog down any of the other machines that all rely on a power source and all that. So we'll just give this power. Possibly. I guess not. So we're at 6, which is a small size, which is what you need to do. I guess click the... So I'm not really sure why it's not taking anything. But yeah, that's pretty much that. We've completed the hot fusion, and now we need to get to this endergenic mythical resource miner. But that will be saved for next time. Got what we needed. All our resources are still being passived. So it's great news, and I'll see you all next time.